The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Once upon a time, there lived a shepherd boy. "Oh, I'm so bored. Isn't there anything fun I can do?" The shepherd boy came up with an idea, and he ran into the town yelling, "Wolf! Wolf! There's a wolf!" "Where? Where's the wolf?" 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 The village people all came out with sticks and clubs. "I just made that up," the shepherd boy laughed. "I can't believe I tricked you all." The village people became super furious and stormed off. The boy had so much fun playing the wolf trick again. A few days later, the boy played the wolf trick again. "Whoa! Wolf! There's a huge wolf!" The people came out running with their sticks and clubs again. "I tricked you again!" "You evil boy! We're never going to fall for this trick the next time you cry wolf." "You evil boy! We're never going to fall for this trick the next time you cry wolf." The people were even more furious this time when they left. Then, one day, a big and scary wolf really did appear. "Help! Please! Someone help! There's a wolf! Really, there's a wolf!" "There he goes again. Does he think we're going to fall for that trick again? That's absurd!" Hearing his cries didn't bother coming to his rescue. But it was at that time that the wolf ate all the shepherd boy's sheep. "Oh no!" the boy cried. "My sheep! My poor sheep!" The boy learned his lesson to never cry wolf ever again. The Emperor's New Clothes. In a kingdom far away, there is an emperor who loves nice clothes. "I want the nicest clothes," he proclaims. The emperor makes an announcement to find the best tailor. Everyone hears the news. 2 brothers hear it too. They aren't tailors, but they are good liars.
"We have the best cloth,"
the brothers say every day at the front of the castle's gate. Eventually, the emperor hears them. He wants to meet the brothers.
"I want the nicest clothes,"
says the emperor. "Our cloth is the best," says the elder brother. "But foolish people can't see it," says the youngest brother. The emperor says,
"That's perfect. Then I will be able to tell who is undeserving of their positions in my court. Make clothes for me."
He gives them a lot of money.
"We tricked the emperor,"
the brothers say. They pretend to make the clothes. Later, the emperor has the highest nobleman of his court go to take a look at the clothes and tell him how they are coming along.
"You aren't foolish, so you can see them, right?"
ask the brothers.
"Oh, no, I can't see the clothes,"
he thinks, but he doesn't want to look foolish, so he lies to the emperor. "Those are the nicest clothes, Your Majesty." "Your Highness, the clothes are finished." The brothers pretend to carry the clothes.
I don't see anything,"
he thinks, but he doesn't want to look foolish. He has the brothers dress him in the invisible clothes. People clap for him.
"Wow, these clothes are very nice,"
said the emperor. The emperor wants to show his new clothes, so he has a parade. All of the people come. "Huh? Why is he naked?" They are shocked.
but no one says anything.
The emperor is naked.
One little boy points and laughs, and all the people start to laugh. The foolish emperor runs to his castle in embarrassment. The Gingerbread Man. Once upon a time, a little old woman and a little old man lived in a cottage near a river. One morning, the little old woman decided to bake a gingerbread man as a little afternoon treat. As she rolled out the dough, she cut it into the shape of a little man. She used icing to give the gingerbread man eyes and a smile, gumdrops for buttons, and a cherry for a nose. She then put him in the oven to bake. A few minutes later, the little old woman checked to see if he was cooked. As soon as she opened the door, the gingerbread man jumped out of the oven and ran through the open kitchen door.
Don't eat me,
he shouted. The little old woman was very surprised, but she was also very hungry. So she called to her husband, and they both ran out the front door and after the gingerbread man.
Stop!
They yelled.
Please stop!
But the gingerbread man did not look back. He kept running down the lane and into the woods. As he sang,
Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man.
As he entered the woods, the gingerbread man came across a wild boar.
Stop!
The wild boar snorted.
I would very much like to eat you.
The gingerbread man did not stop. Instead, he ran right past the wild boar.
I've outrun a little old woman and a little old man, and I can outrun you too. Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm a gingerbread man.
It was not long before the gingerbread man saw a cow grazing at the edge of the woods.
Stop, little man,
mooed the cow.
I'm very hungry.
But the gingerbread man was just too fast for the cow.
I've outrun a little old woman and a little old man and a big fat boar, and I can outrun you. Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man.
The cow decided to chase the gingerbread man too, right behind the wild boar and the little old man and the little old woman. But the gingerbread man was just too fast. A little further on, the gingerbread man came upon a donkey.
Stop running! Hee-haw!
Neighed the donkey.
I want to eat you.
But the gingerbread man did not stop.
I've outrun a little old woman and a little old man, a big fat boar and a lazy cow, and I can outrun you too. Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man.
Of course, the donkey did not like being taunted, so he too chased the gingerbread man behind the cow, the pig, and the little old man and the little old woman. But still, the gingerbread man ran even faster. Soon, he came to a rushing river.
Oh no! If I get wet, I'll crumble and melt. But if I don't, they'll catch me. What do I do?
Just then, a sneaky fox appeared and said, I can help you cross the river. Climb onto my back, and I'll swim across. The gingerbread man did not trust the fox.
Do you promise you won't eat me?
Of course, I won't eat you. I just want to help you. The gingerbread man decided that trusting the fox was better than being caught by the donkey, the cow, the wild boar, and the little old man and the little old woman. So he climbed up onto the fox's back, and together they swam across the river. They were about halfway there when the fox said, I'm getting tired. You should climb up onto my head." So the gingerbread man did. They were about 3/4 of the way there when the fox said, "Oh, I'm getting tired again. You should climb onto my nose." So the gingerbread man did. They reached the other side of the river, and before the gingerbread man could climb down, the fox flicked his nose and tossed the gingerbread man high into the air. He opened his mouth as wide as he could, and chomp, chomp, chomp! And that was the end of the gingerbread man. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Goldilocks. She went for a walk in the forest. Pretty soon, she came upon a house. She knocked, and when no one answered, she walked right in. At the table in the kitchen, there were 3 bowls of porridge. Goldilocks was hungry. She tasted the porridge from the first bowl. "Oh, this porridge is too hot!" she exclaimed. So she tasted the porridge from the second bowl. "Ugh, this porridge is too cold," she said. So she tasted the last bowl of porridge. "Ah, this porridge is just right," she said happily, and she ate it all up. After she'd eaten the 3 bears' breakfasts, she decided she was feeling a little tired. So she walked into the living room where she saw 3 chairs. Goldilocks sat in the first chair to rest her feet. This chair is too big," she exclaimed. So she sat in the second chair. "Oh, this chair is too big too," she whined. So she tried the last and smallest chair. "Ah, this chair is just right," she sighed. But just as she settled down into the chair to rest, it broke into pieces. Goldilocks was very tired by this time, so she went upstairs to the bedroom. She lay down in the first bed. But it was too hard. Then she lay in the second bed. But it was too soft. Then she lay down in the third bed. And it was just right. Goldilocks fell asleep. As she was sleeping, the 3 bears came home.
"Someone's been eating my porridge,"
growled Papa Bear. "Someone's been eating my porridge," said the Mama Bear. "Someone's been eating my porridge, and they ate it all up," cried the Baby Bear.
"Someone's been sitting in my chair,"
growled the Papa Bear. "Someone's been sitting in my chair," said the Mama Bear. "Someone's been sitting in my chair, and they broke it all to pieces," cried the Baby Bear. They decided to look around some more, and when they got upstairs to the bedroom, Papa Bear growled,
"Someone's been sleeping in my bed."
"Someone's been sleeping in my bed, too," said the Mama Bear. "Someone's been sleeping in my bed, and she's still there," exclaimed Baby Bear. Just then, Goldilocks woke up and saw the 3 bears. She screamed, "Help!" And she jumped up and ran out of the room. Goldilocks ran down the stairs and ran away into the forest, and she never returned to the home of the 3 bears. Jack and the Beanstalk. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Jack who lived with his poor widowed mother. They had sold almost everything they owned to buy food. When their last cow stopped giving milk, Jack's mother sent him to town to sell it. On the way to town, Jack met a strange fellow who told him stories of magic beans.
Where can I buy some of those magic beans for my mother?
Asked Jack.
I have the last 3 magic beans, and I will sell them to you because you are a good boy.
The strange man smiled at Jack.
Well, I have nothing but our old cow, and we need the money I would get by selling her for food.
The man replied,
Trust me, my boy, these beans will bring you food and fortune, and your mother will be proud.
Jack hesitated, but finally traded the cow for the beans. When Jack returned home without the money, his mother was furious and threw the beans out the kitchen window, crying. Jack went to bed that night sad and hungry. He woke the next morning to find a huge beanstalk growing in the garden.
The beans really are magic,
he cried. Jack saw the stalk reached high above the clouds. He remembered stories about the clouds containing gold and started climbing the stalk to see what he could find. He climbed and climbed. When he got to the top, he saw a huge castle and headed for it. The door was so big that Jack could crawl through the crack beneath it. Once inside the castle, he saw a giant eating his dinner. When the giant was finished, he called his servant to bring him his bag of gold coins. While counting his money, the giant became drowsy and fell asleep. Jack crept up to the giant and stole his bag of gold. He struggled to climb down the beanstalk with such a heavy bag of money. He called for his mother. Jack's mother was very happy because now they have money to buy food. Mother made Jack promise he would never go back because of how dangerous the giant could be. While Jack did promise, after a while, the money began to run out. Jack began to wonder if he could find anything else in the castle. Once again, Jack decided he would go back up the beanstalk and into the castle. He reached the castle and climbed under the door to find the big giant eating dinner at his table. When he was finished this time, however, the giant called for his magic hen. Jack was amazed when he saw the hen lay an egg of pure gold. While the giant was watching the hen, he again became drowsy and fell asleep. Jack crept silently and sneakily to the table and grabbed the hen. When he returned home, his mother was very angry that Jack had gone back to the castle. She grabbed Jack's axe, intending to cut down the beanstalk. However, Jack begged her not to and showed her how the hen could lay golden eggs. Jack's mother put the axe down and watched with delight as the hen laid one beautiful golden egg after another. After a while, Jack's curiosity got the better of him, and once again thought about what else he could find in the castle. Once again, Jack decided he would go back up the beanstalk and into the castle. He reached the castle and climbed under the door to find the big giant eating dinner at his table. When he was finished this time, however, the giant called for his magic harp. Jack watched as the harp began to play beautiful music all by itself. The music was so beautiful that before long, the lazy giant was once again fast asleep. Jack crept silently to the table, but as soon as Jack picked up the harp, it began playing very loudly in his hands, and the giant awoke.
Fee, fi, fo, fum,
yelled the giant, and he chased after the boy with his harp. Jack raced to the beanstalk and slid down. He could feel the stalk shake as the giant began climbing down. Luckily, his axe was nearby, and he began chopping down the beanstalk. The beanstalk shook and cracked under the weight of the giant and Jack's chopping. Finally, the stalk snapped and the giant fell to the earth, never to be seen again. Jack and his mother lived happily ever after. Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived in a village near a big forest. Her grandma had made her a beautiful red cloak with a big red hood, which she wore every time she went outside. And so everyone in the village called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, Little Red Riding Hood's mother said, "Grandma isn't feeling very well. Will you take this basket of food through the forest to her cottage?"
"Yes,"
said Little Red Riding Hood.
"I sure would love to visit Grandma."
She put on her red cloak, and she pulled up her red hood, and she took the basket of food into the forest.
Remember,
Her mother called after her,
don't talk to strangers along the way.
"I won't,"
Little Red Riding Hood promised, and she skipped down the path and into the woods. Little Red Riding Hood did not have to worry about getting lost in the forest because she knew the way to Grandma's house very well. But along the way she saw some beautiful wildflowers growing near the path.
"I bet Grandma would really like these,"
she said to herself, and she stopped to pick a few.
Hello there, little girl,
said a deep, growling voice from behind her. Little Red Riding Hood was very startled. She spun around and saw a big bad wolf standing in the shadows between two trees.
"Hello,"
said Little Red Riding Hood. She did not know the wolf was bad, and she has already forgotten her mother's words of warning about talking to strangers.
Where are you going on this fine day?
Asked the big bad wolf.
"I'm going to my Grandma's cottage on the other side of the forest,"
said Little Red Riding Hood.
"She isn't feeling well, and I'm bringing her this basket of food and these flowers."
What a sweet girl you are,
said the big bad wolf. He smiled and showed off his mouthful of sharp teeth. The big bad wolf hadn't eaten in many days and was quite hungry, but he was not interested in the basket of food.
"I had better be going,"
said Little Red Riding Hood,
"Goodbye, Mr. Wolf."
and she skipped down off the path. The big bad wolf's stomach grumbled and growled with hunger, and suddenly he had an idea. As quick as he could, he ran through the forest all the way to Grandma's cottage. The sneaky wolf opened the door very quietly and found Grandma asleep in her bed. He picked the old woman up, opened his terrifying big mouth, and he swallowed poor Grandma in one gulp. Then the big bad wolf climbed into the bed and pulled the blanket up to his chin. He put on Grandma's glasses and her nightcap, and he waited for the little girl to arrive with her flowers and basket of food. When Little Red Riding Hood arrived at the cottage, she opened the door quietly and found Grandma lying in bed.
"Hello, Grandma,"
she said.
"Mother told me you weren't feeling well, so I brought you some food and some flowers."
What a sweet little girl you are,
said the wolf in his fake grandma voice.
Come closer, my dear.
Little Red Riding Hood took a step closer, and she noticed that something looked a little different about Grandma.
"My,"
she said,
"what big eyes you have, Grandma."
All the better to see you with,
said the big bad wolf.
Come closer, my dear.
Little Red Riding Hood took another step closer to the bed.
"My,"
she said,
"what big ears you have, Grandma."
All the better to hear you with,
replied the wolf. "Come closer, my dear." Little Red Riding Hood took one more step closer.
My,
She said in surprise.
what big teeth you have, Grandma.
All the better to eat you with,
Growled the big bad wolf. He jumped out of the bed and he opened his great big mouth. Little Red Riding Hood shrieked and tried to run, but the hungry wolf grabbed her up and swallowed Little Red Riding Hood in just one gulp. Outside the cottage, a woodsman happened to be walking through the forest when he heard Little Red Riding Hood's shriek of surprise. He hurried inside to see the wolf and his huge, round belly. The woodsman grabbed up the big bad wolf, turned him upside down, and shook him by the legs and feet. Little Red Riding Hood came tumbling out of the wolf's mouth, and Grandma followed. The three of them chased the big bad wolf out of the cottage, out of the forest, and over a hill. The big bad wolf ran for his life and was never seen again. Rumpelstiltskin. Once there was a miller who was poor, but who had a beautiful daughter. In a plan to get rich, the miller went to the king and declared, "I have a daughter who can spin straw into gold." The king was wealthy, but greedy, so he ordered his guards, "Lock the girl in a room filled with straw. If she spins the straw into gold, I will let her go. If not, she will stay here forever." All alone in the locked room, the miller's daughter began to cry because she didn't know how to turn all that straw into gold. Suddenly, the door opened, and in came a little man who said, "Good evening, Mistress Miller. I can help you turn straw into gold, but you should give me your gold necklace in exchange." Relieved to have this help, the girl agreed. The next day, the king was astonished to find all of the straw was gone, and the room was now filled with gold. But the king was too greedy to let the girl go right away. Seeing all of this gold only made him want more. "Put her in a bigger room with more straw tonight. If she turns it into gold, I will free her." That night, the little man appeared again and said, "I will spin this straw into gold for you again, if you give me the ring on your finger." The girl thought of the ring as nothing compared to her freedom, so she enthusiastically agreed. By the morning, the straw had been turned into gold, and the king was so astonished that he ordered her to an even larger room with much more straw, and declared, "If she spins all of that straw into gold, I will marry her and make her my queen." He thought to himself, "Even if she's a miller's daughter, I could not find a richer wife in the whole world." When the girl was alone, the little man came again for the third time and said, "What will you give me if I spin straw for you this time also?" The girl answered, "I have nothing left that I could give." "Then promise me, if you should become queen, to give me your first child." Desperate to not spend another night like this, she promised the little man what he wanted. And for that, he once more spun the straw into gold. When the king came in the morning, he found all as he had wished. He took her in marriage, and the pretty miller's daughter became a queen. A year after, she brought a beautiful child into the world, and she never gave a thought to the little man who helped her. But suddenly, he came into her room and said, "Now give me what you promised." The queen was horrified and offered the little man all the riches of the kingdom if he would leave her the child. But the little man said,
"No, something alive is dearer to me than all the treasures in the world."
The queen began to cry, so the little man pitied her and offered,
"If you can guess my name within 3 days' time, I will let you keep your child."
So the queen thought the whole night of all the names that she had ever heard, and she sent a messenger over the country to inquire far and wide for any other names that there might be. After 2 days of listing names, she was still unsuccessful.
William, Oliver, Peter, George.
But the little man said
"No"
to all of her guesses. That day, she had a messenger follow the little man to find out his real name. Her messenger followed him to a cottage in the woods. On the way, the little man sang a song to himself.
"Today I brew, tomorrow I bake, and after that the child I'll take. Never can the queen guess that Rumpelstiltskin is my name."
You may imagine how glad the queen was when she heard the name, and when soon afterwards the little man came in and asked,
"Now, Mistress Queen, what is my name?"
At first she said, "Is your name Douglas?"
"No."
"Is your name Sam?"
"No."
With each name, the little man's smile grew wider. "Perhaps your name is Rumpelstiltskin?"
"Who told you my name? Some witch must have told you,"
cried the little man. In his anger, he plunged his right foot so deep into the ground that he fell inside and disappeared forever. The Tortoise and the Hare. A hare was making fun of the tortoise one day for being so slow.
"Do you ever get anywhere?"
he asked with a mocking laugh.
Yes,
replied the tortoise, "and I get there sooner than you think. I'll run you a race and prove it." The hare was much amused at the idea of running a race with the tortoise, but for the fun of the thing he agreed. So the fox, who had consented to act as judge, marked the distance and started the runners off. The hare was soon far out of sight, and to make the tortoise feel very deeply how ridiculous it was for him to try to race with a hare, he lay down beside the course to take a nap until the tortoise should catch up. The tortoise, meanwhile, kept going slowly but steadily, and, after a time, passed the place where the hare was sleeping. But the hare slept on very peacefully, and when at last he did wake up, the tortoise was near the goal. The hare now ran his swiftest, but he could not overtake the tortoise in time. The tortoise went through the finish line, and everyone cheered. The Three Little Pigs. There once was a mother pig who had 3 little pigs, and they were very poor indeed. One day, the mother pig sent the 3 little pigs out into the big wide world to seek their fortunes. The first little pig met a man carrying a big bundle of straw.
please, may I have that big bundle of straw to myself to build myself a house?
Asked the pig. The man was tired of carrying the bundle of straw, so he gladly gave it to the first little pig. The first little pig built a house out of straw, and he lived there very happily. But along came a big bad wolf.
Little pig, let me come in,"
shouted the wolf.
No, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. I'll not let you in,
squeaked the first little pig.
Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down,
yelled the wolf, and he did. He huffed, and he puffed, and he blew the straw house down. The first little pig ran away as fast as his trotters would carry him. Now the second little pig met a man carrying a big bundle of sticks.
Please, may I have the bundle of sticks to build myself a house?
Asked the pig. The man was tired of carrying the bundle of sticks, so he gladly gave it to the second little pig. The second little pig built a house out of sticks, and he lived there very happily. But along came the big bad wolf.
Little pig, let me come in,
shouted the wolf.
No, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. I'll not let you in,
squeaked the second little pig.
Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down,
yelled the wolf, and he did. He huffed, and he puffed, and he blew the sixth house down. The second little pig ran away as fast as his trotters would carry him. Now the third little pig met a man carrying a heavy load of bricks.
Please, may I have that load of bricks to build myself a house?
Asked the pig. The man was very tired of carrying the heavy load of bricks, so he gladly gave it to the third little pig. The third little pig built a house out of bricks, and he lived there very happily. But along came the big bad wolf.
Little pig, let me come in,
shouted the wolf.
No, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. I'll not let you in,
squeaked the third little pig.
Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down,
yelled the wolf. And he tried, and he tried. He huffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, and he puffed. But he couldn't blow the pig's brick house down.
Little pig, I'm coming down your chimney right now to get you,
bellowed the big bad wolf.
Please yourself,
called the third little pig, who was now busy with some important preparations.
Little pig, I have my front paws down your chimney,
threatened the big bad wolf.
Please yourself,
called the little pig, who was still busy.
Little pig, I have my bushy tail down your chimney,
called the wolf.
Please yourself,
called the third little pig, who was now sitting in his comfortable rocking chair by the fireside.
Little pig, here I come,
said the wolf, and with a huge splosh, the big bad wolf fell right into a bubbling pot of boiling water. That clever little pig had placed the pot on the fire right under the chimney. The wolf slipped and splashed and scrambled out of the big pot. He ran as fast as he could out of the front door and was never, ever seen again. The third little pig went to look for his two brothers and found them safe and sound. So the three little pigs went and fetched their mother, and now happily together in the brick house. The Ugly Duckling. On a beautiful summer day, a family of ducks were taking a swim while another is enjoying a stroll by the bank. But one mother duck was sitting on her eggs in the tall grass. She wonders when her babies are going to hatch. Her eggs were the last to hatch among all the other ducks. Soon the eggs began crackling, and the little ducklings started taking small, unsteady steps out of their shells. Mother Duck thought her babies were so cute and beautiful. As she started counting the number of baby ducks, she realized one of the eggs hadn't hatched. She noticed the unhatched egg was rather large, but didn't think much of it, and continued to sit on the unhatched egg. Soon, the last egg hatched, and the duckling stepped out. This little duck didn't look like his brothers and sisters. Immediately, other ducks began calling the ugly duckling names.
What is that strange-looking creature doing here? The other ducklings are so cute, but this one is so big and ugly. We don't want him here.
Mother Duck replied angrily.
He is still small, and I'm sure he will grow up to be beautiful too.
As days went by, things started becoming worse and worse for the ugly duckling. Wherever he went, the other ducks were rude towards him. Even his brothers and sisters were mean to him. Mother Duck was extremely sad, seeing how the other ducks treated him.
Nobody wants to talk to or play with me because I'm ugly,
the ugly duckling cried. The ugly duckling ran away from home. No matter where he went, he wasn't wanted. After becoming tired of the incessant teasing, he decided to block himself off from all social interactions. He ran to an area of the woods where no one could bother him. So life continued miserably for the ugly duckling as he tried to stay away from the other ducks, only returning to the bank to drink water. Soon, seasons changed, and the ugly duckling grew stronger and larger. One day, the ugly duckling felt so depressed and lonely that he decided to go to the lake to watch the beautiful birds from afar. Seeing them laugh and play together made him drop his head and cry. When he stared down at his own reflection in the lake, he couldn't believe his eyes. His own reflection was no longer an ugly duckling. The ugly duckling had transformed into a beautiful swan. At this very moment, the other swans and ducks noticed him from across the lake. They flocked to him, and he couldn't believe he was being accepted and appreciated. He was actually being called beautiful. He never dreamt of a day when someone would call him beautiful.